Hello everyone, Chapter 5 talks about diversity among families and professionals. These are the chapter objectives. We will briefly talk about how the demographics of the US population are changing. Then we will talk about varying views of a family. Then lastly, we will talk about different value systems between family and school personnel. The population of the United States can be broken down in various ways, but if we see the race and ethnic composition, we will see this kind of data. According to US Consensus 2019, the most recent version, white non-Latinx is 60%, African American is 13.4%, American Indian is 1.3%, and Asian is 5.9%. According to U.S. Department of Education 2020, in 2018 to 2019, the number of students ages 3 to 21 who received special education services under the IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, was 7.1 million, or 14% of all public school students. And white non-Latinx children continue to be the largest group receiving special education services, and there is an overrepresentation issue in special education. For example, almost 20% of children receiving special education were African American, while only 13% of all children in the US were identified as African American. The definition of what is a family has changed over time, and family composition is not static. Families come in a variety of shapes, types, and sizes. The author provides U.S. consensus definition of family, saying that family is a group of two people or more, related by birth, marriage, or adaptation, and residing together. All such people are considered as members of one family, but I personally suggest that the definition of family should be bigger than that, not just limited to birth, marriage, or adaptation. As you see the example type of family in the list. While establishing partnerships with families, conflict may arise, and this can be a natural thing. It's because each person has different culture and value, and an individual teacher also does. By accepting that each individual has different value system developed through the person's life, educators need to be careful not to place judgment on other people's values or observed behaviors. Two different value systems between teacher and family can conflict anytime, such as during conferences and during other informal conversations. An easy example I have is that in many Asian countries, for example, East Asian countries such as Korea, Japan, China, people don't write others' names in red. If you write someone's name in red there, that means you curse the person or the person is already dead. It's kind of old stuff and no one believes its effect, so it's kind of old-fashioned superstition, but people there know this story and do not write other people's name in red to be polite. Let's say in a parents' conference, a teacher inadvertently writes the caregiver's names in red. The caregiver would know that doesn't mean anything, but they may accept that experience as a strange new experience, right? As an educator, you cannot know every single cultural differences or value a family brings to a school, but at least you should be aware and be cautious that a family has their own culture and value system, and they understand specific phenomena or school related matters from their own cultural views. And therefore, we educator must analyze our own values and determine the interpretations we place on others' behaviors. Caregivers must make many adjustments and changes in their lives when they learn their child has a disability. Family members experience increased responsibilities to care for a child with disability and to deal with the symptoms of disability. However, educators need to remember that along with the negative impacts of children's disability on families' lives, many families of children with disability demonstrate positive aspects as well, such as courage, love, faith, hope, positive attitudes, and adaptation.